single professional woman
I am not being aggressive, I just don't need counselling.
seeks mature male for sophisticated romance.
At least if you invited him round for dinner, shared a few bottles of wine, then jumped him, you'd know if there was something there.
That's what you do, is it?
I'd skip dinner.
I might just as well write desperate for a shag across my forehead. I look like Eddie Izzard.
Ex-husbands need not apply.
You look nice.
No, I don't.
Oh, please.
Unfinished Business. Saturday at 9:50 on BBC One.
The truth hurts, and it's not only Jojo who feels the pain. A final gripping slice of Edinburgh life on BBC Two in a moment.
To them, I had done the ultimate sin. I had left home with an Englishman who was of no religion, of no culture.
Bound by tradition.
It was Paul of Pakistan. I chose Paul.
Exiled by love.
There are incidents where young people really have to run for their life.
There's never going to be one day that I don't look over my shoulder.
The high price for lovers on the run.
We still sleep with knives under our bed.
Inside Story, tomorrow at 9:30 on BBC One.
Your life's never ever going to be the same again.
You've tried the rides. In half an hour, meet the people who work at Britain's most popular tourist attraction, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The 9 o'clock news, first on BBC One, with Peter Sissons.
Richard Branson has won the libel action brought by the man he said tried to bribe him over the National Lottery. The jubilant tycoon calls for the lottery to be taken away from Camelot. His defeated opponent resigns from its board. More British warplanes are readied for the Gulf as Saddam denies he's offered to do a deal. And the axe murderer who looks likely tomorrow to be the first woman executed in Texas since the Civil War. Good evening. Richard Branson has won £100,000 in damages from a man he accused of trying to bribe him to stay out of the bidding for the National Lottery. The libel action against Mr. Branson was brought by Guy Snowdon, a director of Camelot, the company that was later chosen to run the lottery. Immediately after the verdict, Mr. Snowdon resigned from the Camelot board. Mr. Branson also demanded the resignation of the lottery regulator, Peter Davis, and said Camelot should no longer be allowed to run the lottery.
Victory for the Virgin chairman. A triumphant Richard Branson left court surrounded by family and colleagues, his reputation as an honest man officially intact.
Obviously we're absolutely delighted. There's more than just personalities involved in this trial. It's had 3 weeks of really examining the lottery, and I think that what's important that comes out of this trial is a thorough look at the way the lottery's run.
Richard Branson's opponent was the American millionaire Guy Snowdon, whose company GTEC is a major shareholder in the lottery operator's Camelot. It was claimed he tried to bribe the Virgin boss into dropping his bid to run the National Lottery. The judge asked the jury to decide if Richard Branson had got hold of the wrong end of the stick and had misinterpreted the bribe attempt, or was he an expensive spanner in the works who could seriously damage Camelot's profits and was therefore worth trying to buy off. In the end, the jury decided Richard Branson was telling the truth. That meant Guy Snowdon and his business methods were totally discredited. He left court, his own role in Camelot now at an end.
Well, naturally, I'm very disappointed in the verdict. Not happy at all.
I understand you've resigned, is that correct?
I will resign effective immediately from the Camelot board. I think that's only the right thing to do.
GTEC will have to pick up the estimated £3 million costs in this case. Richard Branson says his £100,000 in damages will go to charity. Duncan Kennedy, BBC News at the High Court.
The outcome of Richard Branson's libel action could have serious implications for the lottery's operator Camelot, as our media correspondent Nick Hyam reports.
Within an hour of the jury's decision, Richard Branson was celebrating at a nearby pub. One of his first moves to call for the resignation of the lottery regulator, Peter Davis.
And I personally feel that he should be considering his future. And I think that one of the first moves that a government must make if they're to get some trust back into the lottery is to replace Peter Davis with a new regulator.
In court, Mr. Davis was accused of shutting his ears when Richard Branson told him, in passing, about the attempted bribe. Mr. Davis said he'd no memory of being told. Tonight he indicated he'd no intention of quitting.
My position is not in question. I'm doing the job that I was paid to do, and as a result of the verdict in the court case this afternoon, I've taken the proper action to make sure that Mr. Snowden plays no further part, because the jury has decided that he was part of an attempt to bribe Mr. Branson.
Guy Snowden, after 3 weeks in court, has now resigned as a director of Camelot. Mr. Davis also says he mustn't profit in any way from the UK lottery, but it's hard to see how that can be managed when Mr. Snowden's company GTEC remains a major shareholder in Camelot. GTEC, which runs 80 lotteries around the world, invented the technology used in the British lottery and effectively founded the Camelot Consortium. In America, it's been accused of paying sweeteners to win lottery contracts, allegations the company's always denied. But the allegations alarmed Peter Davis, who told the court he had real concern about GTEC's fitness to be involved in the British lottery.
At Camelot tonight, they say it's business as usual. Now, Guy Snowden has stepped down as a director. But there's a danger, even with Guy Snowden gone, that Britain's lottery could be tainted by association with a man a British jury thought was capable of offering a bribe.
A barrister acting for Camelot, Tom Shields QC, sat in on the libel trial for the entire 3 weeks, a sign of the importance the company attached to the case. Camelot maintains it isn't involved in the dispute, but admits the trial may have damaged the lottery's reputation. Nick Hyam, BBC News.
Iraq has denied reports from Moscow that Saddam Hussein has offered to allow UN weapons inspectors access